Welcome to Land House. I'm Seth. With the help of my dad, we were able to build a nice deck on the front of my house, and it is doing quite well. The issue is we're not very good at keeping our supports straight. So 2 of the 6 here are a bit off right on the front. So when you're down at the road, it just looks off. So that being said, we have some lattice work over here. I picked this up at Lowe's. Whew, sorry for the wind noise. I picked this up at Lowe's for, it was expensive, $31 a sheet, I believe. 4x8, but it is PVC, it's white, and I think it will last for a very long time. I want to put this on the front side over here, and this side over here. And those 2 spots should prevent anybody from noticing just how poor of a job we did. Now over here, I'm going to be installing a PVC storage rack on this side, so I'm going to leave this open. Still have to come back and do touch-up painting that we never got to. All that said, let's go ahead and get to work installing the lattice here on the front of the deck. The first piece I'm going to put over here on the front, and I actually bought some 2x4s to be the lower support. I have to see how much space this 4-foot takes up here. And I was thinking I could use the front here as the nail-to surface, and yeah, that's going to work out pretty good. So let me go ahead and get that lower board cut and installed first, and then we'll be able to just get this lattice screwed on here. The first section from this post down to this one is about 10.5 feet, which works out well for us. So I'm going to be installing this 2x4 down here. So the first thing I want to do is attach it to this side, use the level, and attach it to that side. All right, I'm a couple inches off the ground. I'm going to come to the edge here so it's flush and put one 3.5-inch screw in here. Down here at the other side, toss my level up here and hold that until it gets level. Uh-oh. I didn't go high enough, did I? Okay, I thought I'd gone up high enough on the other end, but not quite. So let's go ahead and put the level back on here and find where this needs to be. Looks like right there. Put some more of these 3.5-inch screws in. That board should give us something to attach this to, hopefully. And it will have a little bit of space between the ground and the board, but I'm okay with that. So I think what I'm going to do is just come over to the edge here, and then I've got some of these screws that are 1.25 inches, I believe. Let's just see how well they do on this. Yeah, not bad at all. Okay, I do want to make sure this is level before I put the next screw in. Okay, now I'm going to put a whole bunch of these little tiny screws in here to make sure this doesn't go blowing off of this thing like a sail. Support. First piece has gone on there quite nice. Now it's time to cut down this board to fit between this smaller gap here. So it's going to put up against there, and we need a board that is cut at 88 inches. Okay, now I'm going to be able to get the length of this one in here just fine, of course, but the height is another issue. So we can start off at 4 foot over here, which will be fine, but by the time it gets over here to the next 8-foot piece, which is over here, we've already dropped down. Like there's 4 foot there. I want it to be about 45 or so inches instead. So we're gonna have to measure this and then hopefully cut it with the circular saw. On this side over here, I want it to start off at 48 inches, but over here, I want it to be 43 inch. So I've got to cut off 5 inches on that side and it'll taper down to the full section over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my tape measure to mark this spot over here. All right, so I'm just going to come up to the 5-inch mark. Be sure to drop your tape measure when you're doing this. It cut very well with that circular saw. Pretty pleased with that. We'll see if I cut enough. One thing to note, it's probably a good practice to use molding to hold this up instead of the screws that I'm using. I don't have any molding, and so if expansion does occur and causes issues, I will have to revisit this and install it differently. But for now, this is the way I'm going to do it here. First two pieces are totally installed. I didn't overlap any right here in the center, so there's a bit of a difference in the pattern, but still looks nice. And the taper on the ground looks really good there. Still have that last 2 feet or so to do down there, but I think I'm going to hold off and do that after I have finished this side over here. Now you'll notice that the board is flush here, whereas before we had 1.5 inches. And so I think what I'm going to do now is toenail my board down in here to support the other piece. And I may have to cut a couple of inches off to accommodate for that, and because the steps won't allow. Maybe I could just notch out where the steps are and work around that. We'll see. And then I'll have to come over here and get the last little section done. And I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work because I can't necessarily attach to the house. So what I may do is just run a 2x4 down from right up under here and then attach to the bottom that way. And so it won't be totally attached. I may have to, I don't know. We'll see how that's gonna work. I installed this corner piece right here without you. All I had to do was just get that board down there, toenailed into my support piece, and then notched out about 3.5 inches here, and it worked out very well. One thing I'm noticing is that this end over here is also crooked a bit, which makes this piece extend some. I'm just gonna leave it though. It's close enough. We don't usually get that close to this corner anyway, so I think it's gonna be okay. So the last thing to do is to come over here and get this little corner piece installed. So my thoughts are, I have saved this piece of board from the stringers when I made the steps, and I'm going to cut this down to fit up in here. Let's see if it'll get the light for you. Yeah, so I can attach it to this board right here and come down, and it will allow me to get the board that will go from the wall over to this support, and that should be the last thing we need to get all of this installed. So let me go ahead and take some measurements and get this installed. 42 inches ought to do it here, so go ahead and cut that. Doesn't have to be exact on this one because it will be forever hidden. Let me go ahead and get a couple of screws started up in here. All right, it would be helpful if I can get this as close to the edge as possible. Let's see what we can do here. Can't get it too close because of the strong tie bracket, but it's not bad here. Here's what I'm thinking. Sorry about this crazy lighting. I'm gonna go ahead and get this board down here, and I want to level it out and go ahead and get it attached. So let's go ahead and put the side over here next to the support beam. I think that structure will hold it pretty good. So I need to measure and mark that area. There may be something I need to do about getting it into here. I don't know. We'll see. And then I also need to cut the piece that will go on the other side from our last sheet of this lattice. But so right in there. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll just show you what it looks like here for the final walk around. I just got that corner done and the other one. Let's go ahead and finish the walk through here. So this side I think is looking really good. I did slip with the saw a little bit, and I cut one piece too low in this corner, but I'm still pleased with that. This seam came together nice here. The under the steps piece was really great. I like that cut a lot. And then if we step over here, like I said, this corner is off because of the way the post is in the ground, but it is such an improvement from what it was before. And I really believe that you won't be able to tell just how bad those supports were off from the road. And I had one little piece left over. I put on this corner without support in that lower right corner there, but man, still good. So I am pleased with that, and it will free up the underside so that I can put my PVC storage over here on this side. Just have a little chute system that I can slide pipes up under there. I want to be honest with you. I thought about doing this maybe 2 days ago. Went to the store, got the stuff, and just installed it, and thought I would bring you along. So there wasn't a whole lot of planning that went into this, but the results that I got, I think, are good enough, and it's 100% improved from what it was before. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.